Okay. What I'm saying was the process of body recomposition has both a mental and physical aspect, but it's also an analytical process where we can literally take 1+1 mathematics to what we're trying to achieve. Okay.
Mhm.
In this case, I want you to turn on your accountant brain, right? I just want you to think in numbers. Okay. Like an accountant in numbers. Let's explain what we're doing, come
Mhm.
back to what we're doing with our analytical brains on. Okay. So turn off your physical brain, turn off your emotional brain just for right now. We'll bring them back in a second. Okay.
Mhm.
What we're doing. Our goal is to lose fill in the blank while learning how to keep it off. Okay.
Mhm.
Our goal can be 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 40 pounds, 100 pounds. It doesn't matter. The objectives are lose the weight, keep it off. Okay. Rationale. Most of my clientele has lost weight before. Most of my clientele has no idea how to keep it off. Okay. And we've experienced this in life happening and things coming up and fill in the blank. Most of my clientels have budgeted before. Most of my clientele has no idea how to keep themselves out of credit card debt. Okay. Turning on the accountant brain. Our approach, a holistic, systematic, graduated approach to the lifestyle factors, behaviors, and nutritional habits, plus exercise routines that don't just obtain, but also keep your goals. Our timeline is as quickly and as safely is supported by the scientific literature and as influenced by your ability to adhere to the existing plan. This is where we'll kind of come in. This is where we'll kind of hone in a little bit. Okay. As you're getting started, which you aren't, right? Our objective is to understand the process, understand your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and to create a plan for you to follow. As you've learned, we've been together. Happy anniversary, by the way. We've worked together in some capacity for the past year, right? We've done a lot. We have done a lot, and we'll do that in a separate conversation. But we have done a lot in a year. And I think that is celebration worthy. So we'll come back to that once the camera's off.
Okay.
All right, timeline. As quickly and as safely supported by our scientific literature, that means how fast can the fastest people do this? Okay. And as influenced by our ability to adhere to the plan. So thinking in budget terms, want to pay down as much debt as is humanly possible with your expenses, but it will be determined by your ability to not add new expenses. Okay. Not add new problems. All right.
Mhm.
Here we go. We're breaking down this brick wall. Okay. But as we're breaking down this brick wall, the tree still may not be visible, even if you've knocked down this top layer, or even if you've knocked down this second layer or this third layer. Like you might not be able to reach the tree until the brick wall is completely crumbled. Okay. And I'm
Mhm.
going to explain that now. When we
What
think
does the
about
tree represent? I'm sorry.
the goal, all right,
Okay.
this
Okay.
is you. These are all the obstacles in the way of us hitting this goal. This is the goal. Okay.
Okay.
I'll draw a connection here in just a second. So when we think about what we're trying to achieve, we have this nutritional behavior hierarchy, which starts with your eating and lifestyle behaviors, the consistency of your nutritional habits, and your adherence to our nutrition plan. I want to hear from you. How has how would you rate your performance, your consistency in this area? Eating and lifestyle behaviors, consistency of your habits, and adherence to the plan that we've created.
Eight.
Yeah, that's generous. We'll give you a 9. This is not our problem. But we might start to encounter some issues here on the next most important level: energy balance, calorie intake, and the weight or the rate at which our body weight is changing. Okay.
Okay.
We
Yeah.
experience some challenges here for a number of reasons. Okay.
Mhm.
Losing sleep, mental, emotional stuff going on, family stuff going on, travel happening, whatever might be, if there is something standing in the way of us adding in the accuracy component of tracking calories,
Okay.
right? Whatever might be standing in the way of that is keeping us right. Like we're chucking at this brick wall here. We're knocking down these top couple layers, but we're not able to get to the tree because of what comes up in terms of stoppages on the second level. Okay. So when you said, I'm not sure if the plan is taking too long, or if there's something else going on, right? There's usually just something else going on, right? And that something else going on gets in the way of this, of us being confident in our rate of body weight change. Because this is such a math equation, our inputs should predictably give us outputs for a certain amount of time, right? This is math. For at least 3 to 4 months, we should be able to predict that if I do these things, I will get these outcomes, unless there's some brick wall standing in the way this week, right? And those inputs are quite simple, right? For energy balance, it's calorie intake, how much am I consuming, and knowing how much I'm consuming, right? This is where measuring in some capacity starts to get accurate, okay? Where we're using measuring cups, measuring spoons, we're using a food scale, fill in the blank. And this doesn't have to be forever. It's just for a period of time, maybe for the first couple of weeks. Let me just see how much calorie density I'm currently consuming. Keep a very watchful eye on my calorie density over these next couple of weeks. And then this will be what I do until we reach a place where my weight plateaus, which will happen. We've talked about that before. Okay. But I think it's the other things, right? It's the other stuff that keeps this from happening. But this piece in and of itself is a very mathematical piece. Okay. This is very in out.
Okay.
What is this? What is this starting, opening? Any questions that this is opening up for you? Thoughts that this is opening up for you?
Nothing yet. I mean,
Good.
nothing yet.
Okay.
I don't know what to say yet. I'm sorry. That's
Good.
what it's not. I'm getting it. It's just I don't know what to say yet.
Processing. That's perfectly
Okay.
fine.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, processing. That's fine. All right, so let's keep going. We talked about this before.
Yes.
Our behaviors checklist. All right. We start with the behaviors of a beginner. These are the brick wall pieces, right? Sleeping 6 to 8 hours a night, drinking half your body weight in ounces of water, eating when you're hungry, stopping when you're full, eating real foods when you're hungry, not eating to the point of overfullness, not drinking liquid calories, logging your food with 80% consistency, eating and cooking at home 5 out of 7 days a week. I've yet to see something, maybe minus your sleep. I've yet to see something that you have not worked on in this past year. Okay. Limited outside meals to less than 8 per month, 4 to 8 palm-sized servings of protein per day, drinking a protein supplement every day, cutting back on alcohol consumption, hitting your step goal with 90% consistency, resistance training 2 or 3 times per week with 100% consistency on your chosen schedule, and managing your stress to avoid self-sabotaging behavior. Is there anything that is calling out to you from this list so far?
Yeah. Like that I would like to be better at?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yes. 1, sleep.
Right. Mm-hmm.
2, water as of
Mm-hmm.
lately feels, and then the logging.
Mm-hmm.
And then the resistance training consistency.
Mm-hmm.
Like where I feel like I've done all these things and I've gotten to a point where I'm doing
Mm-hmm.
these things on autopilot, but I don't, if there was something I'm beating myself up about mentally, then it's one of these things. At some point,
Mm-hmm.
like, man, you weren't perfect at this. You didn't do this. And it fluctuates which ones it is, if that makes sense.
Yes.
I'm trying to get back to the symphony of when it was all happening
Mm-hmm.
perfectly, a no-brainer behavior. And I don't feel like these things are right now. Does that make sense?
Perfect sense. We had a place in time where all these things were just like in synchronicity. It was thoughtless. It was happening.
Yes.
But now it's going to take thinking and intentionality and effort to kind of get them back to happening. But let me set you free.
Okay.
All of these things matter. Let's go back to the concept brain. All this stuff matters. What you spend on gas matters. You know, keeping the air conditioning higher during the summer matters, right? Making sure that, you know, as best you can, you carpool and stop spending on the credit card, and you all traveled a little bit too much last year. All that stuff matters. But when you think about what is going to make the biggest difference in your budget, you can name what that is, right? Maybe it's something in your lifestyle. Maybe it's something for the kids. Maybe it's, you know, whatever big expense that you all are sharing, right? Maybe one of the biggest things that you can do right now to immediately improve your position in our accounting is you need to stop traveling. If anybody asks you to go anywhere this year, you can't go. You just can't go. Okay. Because every time you travel, spend $2,000 from the rental car to the food, to the hotel, to entertainment, to fill in the blank. Every time you travel, you spend $2,000, and you travel 4 to 6 times per year. Immediately, that's how we pay your credit card off. That's how we, you know, put a dent in this house. That's how we put a dent in the student loans. Fill in the blank. Stop traveling this year. Okay. Let's bring it back to this analytical mind. Okay. If there was one thing that you could do to immediately improve your chances of success, and not even improve, immediately improve, to radically, immediately, directly, without having to touch anything else, improve your chances of success, it's over here where we actually are, because we've had this conversation before. It's over here on the intermediate list. The one thing that you can do to immediately make a difference here are these two things: tracking your protein and having macronutrient targets, and tracking your calories and macros towards your goal. You can do 95% of what we're trying to achieve without ever working out again, without ever needing to intentionally walk again, right? Without sleeping and without being hydrated. If we just call it what it is, you can do all of that without those things, just because of the way that our biology was designed, okay? Your body will lose weight, especially if we know how much it takes to run your engine and how much of a deficit we can create to produce predictable fat loss, okay? But this requires this analytical piece, right? I buy you in on this first page for a beginner. I buy you into the idea of logging food, right? But now from the idea of logging food, we now have to turn on our analytical minds and assess, right, the quantity food, okay? What's that opening up for you?
Think just not want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
like meaning, like thinking about the sustainable behaviors, tracking hasn't been in the past. That's all.
Mm-hmm. So,
Or feeling like, and also maybe, yeah, like loss of freedom, blah, blah, blah.
mm-hmm. All right, two things. One, when we go back to what you said you wanted, fat loss, body recomposition change, right?
Mhm.
We think about this spectrum here of restriction. For the goal that we have, how much restriction is required to get there? Turning on analytical mind.
Mhm.
How much restriction is required for me to get out of credit card debt? A freaking quite a bit of restriction.
Mhm.
It's going to be uncomfortable. It's not going to feel good. But after this is paid off and I'm no longer paying 30% interest on this card that I have maxed out, right? I'm free. There's nothing that compares to the load that is lifted when I reach that goal. And the same thing is true here, analytical mind. There's nothing that compares, right? Not even the level of restriction that's required to reach your goal for you reaching the goal. Nothing compares, okay? Now, when we think about this restriction spectrum, I like to start over here with like weight gain zone, okay? Absolutely no restriction. This is like Carnival Cruise Lines. You walk onto the ship, they're like, hey, you want a drink? You're like, yep, I want that one and that one. Let's go get some pizza. Then we're gonna go to the buffet. You want some ice cream on the way? For sure. Tacos, cool. Room service, donuts, fill in the blank. I want all of it. I need the whole thing. Hedonism land, okay? No restriction, weight gain. The same thing is true on the complete opposite side of the spectrum. severe weight loss, severe restriction. You think about people who do like this 1 meal a day intermittent fasting or like keto or fill in the blank. They have amazing transformations, but this is not sustainable.
Right.
Nor is this.
Right.
Nor is this. Right. So when we think about our lives, we want to find ourselves in general when we're not trying to lose weight. We want to find ourselves somewhere like around a 7. Like we can do it, but like not all the time. That's
Okay.
what our approach, our theory is about in our relationship anyway. You can do it, just not all the time. Okay. But when we're in weight loss mode, we teeter more toward restriction because restriction is what's required to meet the goal, right? Restriction is just hands down the brick wall that we have to cross to get there, right? Restriction and discomfort is the path to the goal that we have. So then where do we land on this other side of the spectrum as we're doing this? Somewhere between like a 4 and a 6. We just bring the fun down.
Okay.
Right?
I think
And
I'm there already. It's about tracking it.
Okay,
Right.
cool. So you mentioned tracking not being sustainable. 1, it's not sustainable, but 2, it's also not designed to be. Right? It's not
Right.
supposed to be. You're not supposed to track for life, nor are you supposed to track every detail of what you eat until you lose 80 pounds. Right?
Okay.
You do this in seasons. You do this in periods of times. You do this in sprints. You do this for as long as it's necessary to reach this goal. And this goal isn't 60 or 80 pounds. This goal is like 15 pounds. So I do this for as long as it's necessary to reach this goal, and then I pull back. And then I know how to come back to it when I need to come back to it for this specific goal. I know how to spend in cash when I have a debt problem. I know how to tell people no when I can't travel with you, right? For these specific reasons. I know how to come back to logging my food when I'm specifically trying to lose weight.
Okay.
Yeah. Thoughts, questions about that piece?
No.
So to a degree, it's like there's a level of buy-in. If you think of it in seasons, there's a level of buy-in to food logging. Let's call it for 10 to 12 weeks. I need to weigh, measure, and log my food for 10 to 12 weeks. Then take a little break, allow my metabolism to heal, and I'll do that again. Take a break, allow my metabolism to heal, do that again until I reach my goal. Now, this might be 4 iterances of 10 to 12 weeks, push through, 4 to 6 weeks, pull back, 10 to 12 weeks, push through, 4 to 6 weeks, come back. All right. But it's not designed to be a forever thing. What's designed to be forever is what we've started to do right now, which is what your brain has become accustomed to in the form of taking photos of your food. You're looking for specific things on your plate, right? Looking for protein, looking for color. That's what is to be sustainable, normal, and always. Food logging is not sustainable. It's not normal. And it's not what we'll always do.
Okay.
Unless, of course, there's like some deep aversion to food logging that we literally just can't, like for a mental health reason or feeling like we can't do it, we won't do it.
Okay.
But for everyone who can, we will for the season of time necessary to reach the goal.
Okay. Got it. Okay. This is good. The one thing to focus on, the one big thing is helpful. When I maybe, if you're asking me to move from the pictures to the more detailed tracking, then maybe I need some how to or like with that, you know what I mean? Are you asking me to do that?
Comes back to the wall. Right. You also have to be ready to do that.
Okay.
So there are there are ways to build that bridge between where we are and readiness to take it to another level.
Okay.
For example, one of the bridges is logging outside of the pictures, just like logging the food item. It doesn't even have to be accurate right now. Right. So instead of taking food photos, what you would do right now is chicken breast, right? Or homemade chili. That's what you would do right now. And you have that functionality in the app. Or one of the ways you could do it too is like typing it into a note in your phone. That could be the bridge.
I'm sorry. I'm shaking my head because I'm like, that might be feeling harder than what I know I should be doing, which is like just putting the pictures in and describing them. Like taking notes in some random thing that I'm not showing you is not probably going to be as helpful as just doing the thing that I already know how to do, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Just doing that
Yeah.
and understanding this is the most important thing you can do right now
Yes.
versus at the end of the day going, but I didn't do this. Oh, well, right? No, this is the most important thing
This
you
is
can
the
get
thing.
today.
This is
That-
the thing.
This is the thing.
Yes. And what pays off is you spend a week with this being the thing, and then you take your progress report on Friday and you've made progress. It cancels out this feeling that you're having right now. So going back to the emotional mind,
Mhm.
it completely cancels out this feeling of reservation that you have. Oh, it's not gonna be sustainable. It's so hard to find certain types of things or fill in the blank. When you've made progress on Friday, none of that matters. And
Right.
that's what you want.
Right.
What you want is not to be so comfortable that you're just unwilling to do the thing, right?
Mhm.
What we want is on the other side of breaking down this brick wall. What we want is on the other side of the discomfort required to get it.
Mhm.
But when you check in on it on Friday and you see that, and this is what going back to that video that you're talking about, right? For 1 week, right? I did the things that made me uncomfortable, right? Stepped on the scale, made progress, but it wasn't what my mind was anticipating, right? That this whole thing, going back to that moment of when you do, you will reap. And what I missed from that moment was I also didn't allow myself to reap the feel good of having done, of I did it, right? I didn't allow myself to reap how wonderful it felt to have gotten it done.
Mhm.
I also didn't allow myself to understand that while you're doing this, physiological, biological things are happening. You're sending your body into a stress environment, which is a necessary road for us to cross to get to the goal, right? You're sending your body into a little bit of stress. Water retention might happen. The scale will move, but maybe not initially as quickly as you thought, right? Or maybe things changed for the better this week in a different way. Maybe you also increased the amount of repetitions or the amount of weight that you were able to do in the gym, hence evidence for better muscle mass, muscle retention. Maybe you lost inches that did not necessarily show up on the scale, right? You definitely see that your body is changing, your face is changing, your waist is changing. You can see yourself changing, even if that is only half a pound this week, even if that's 0 pounds this week, even that's plus 2 pounds this week. Doing this is the gateway to attaining the goal, right?
Okay.
Okay. Lots there. Key takeaways.
So the wall is the discomfort or the obstacles.
That's one brick of the wall for sure.
Okay. Okay. Um, No, you had said something. You were like, what we want is a thing on the other side of the wall. You said something about discomfort in relation to that, and I missed it. I was trying to write it down.
Yeah, so I'll just go on another rent page, and if it comes from this one, you can take it. But we have yet to understand that, like, what we want to do requires effort, probably beyond what we ever thought capable to achieve this thing. Right? Being a good parent requires effort beyond what you even thought fathomable for yourself. Being fit for life, changing your body composition, getting healthy requires effort past what you could have fathomed was possible for you. And once we accept the amount of effort and discomfort that it's going to take to reach this goal, for example, there are two very specific types of discomfort that you will experience as we pursue this goal. One, you will experience a little bit of hunger, right? Because hunger is what we're creating. A calorie deficit is what we are creating. So part one of the discomfort that you're going to experience is you will get hungry and you will not be able to satisfy it in the ways that you previously have been. Can we accept that for 10 to 12 weeks?
Yes.
Right. And then you'll also have to pay very close attention to, like, the analytical pieces of this, specifically very close attention to your nutrition intake for 8, 10, 12 weeks.
Got it.
Is that a level of discomfort that you're willing to accept in order to achieve the goal? Right. So
yes,
when we acknowledge that, it's like, okay, I don't know, meet me at the muster station, back to this cruise ship example. Meet me at your muster station. Let me tell you about all the ways you can die on this cruise ship. Right. Are you still coming? It's the same idea. Let me tell you all the ways that after this pretty period of incorporating all these things and getting this lifestyle underway, which is what we've done. Lifestyle, cool. I'm not worried about that. Now that this is out of the way, are you ready now to acknowledge and accept that the next phase of what we're doing requires these two specific pieces of discomfort, hunger and annoyance, right? Irritation for a defined period of time. Is that okay?
yes.
Okay. All right. So where do we start?
Okay. We start with the thing. We start with putting the pictures in the app, and I would say just noting particular how much protein is in each meal.
Okay. Coaching each meal, logging the photos in the app with your little description underneath. That's a great gateway. And what happens after this gateway, right? We're bridging the gap right now. What happens after the gap is bridged is now we start to take a food scale.
Which I have.
We take the plate, we zero it out. We put the turkey on it. We put the green beans on it. We put the sweet potato on it. We get the numbers. We take it off. That's what we put to the app.
Okay, I'm doing the protein.
Okay.
But you're saying weigh the vegetables?
So you can't. You don't need to, right? So veggies, if you treat your veggies, especially if you're not like slather them in butter and sugar and what did I have the other day that they just drenched in sugar? What was it? It was somewhere, I think it was broccolini. Excuse me? I was appalled. Please take this back. Y'all, seriously, take this. We don't need this. Okay. Black people need to know what actual vegetables taste like. Okay. True veggies,
Was it
nonetheless.
teriyaki? Oh my God.
No, it was sugar covered broccolini, like broccolini.
Gross. Okay.
Anyways,
Okay.
candy
Okay.
broccolini. Okay, so you can if you want to, but veggies we want to treat like unlimited, always available. Okay. Veggies do no wrong unless you've covered them in sugar, butter, and cheese.
Right. Okay.
Now, what we do want to weigh and measure are our proteins for sure, especially because we're trying to reach a protein goal. So that changes our relationship to logging. Is this amount of protein that I'm consuming helping me reach my goal? That's different. And then our carbs and fats, nuts and seeds, avocado, carbs, potatoes, oats, rice, pasta, fill in the blank. Is this helping me stay within my carbohydrate goal? Right? Because we're coming back to what we'll do. Let's just kind of lay this out. As we're making progress or not, right? We do our Friday chicken, we're making progress or not, right? The two variables that will change most often will be your step goal. So from 6 to 7 to 8 to 9 to 10. And your carbohydrate goal from where it is to 120 to 100 to 85. Right? Protein and fat will probably always stay the same. But the food logging helps us know where our current carb goal actually is. Right? How much are we actually doing? Budgeting helps us know how much are you actually spending. And the times when you need to budget are the times when you need to budget. Same thing is true for this. Right? Tracking every dollar is not sustainable. Tracking every calorie is not sustainable, but you do it for the period of time that is necessary to do it. Thoughts?
I'm making the correlation, the correlation to tracking money, which provides clarity. And that's the goal with this food thing. It provides clarity. Therefore, my body can respond positively because I have clarity that I'm not spending too much, or, you know what I mean? Spending more than I'm earning, whatever, however you want to say it. So that metaphor is helping me understand that this is the most important thing. I'm tracking carbs and fat now, or I'm first starting with just the consistent food pictures, weighing and measuring protein, like for a week or so, and then we'll graduate to doing measuring the carbs, fat. I'm just getting clarity now about what I'm doing. That's all.
Ask yourself.
I think that that's what I would like to do. To do this consistently and then get a deeper understanding about how to track the carbs, fat. Because is that just weighing it, or is that looking at labels and counting and adding things together?
Good question. Okay. Ooh, what time is it? Okay.
I know it's
No, we're good. I'm good if you're good. I got like 15 minutes.
okay.
All right, labels. Super duper helpful, right? Think about something like this, has a label on it.
Right.
In these apps that we now have, we can scan the label and it'll input everything for us. So you don't have to go 160 calories and you don't have to do that. Okay.
Oh, great.
Scan the label, it'll put it in. And in many of our tracking software applications, the food item is already there. Right. So you can even search like LaCroix sparkling water and it'll pop up all the different LaCroix that you can choose from. Boom, that's the one. Fill in the blank. Food labels.
Is that in the Trainer Eyes app we use, or are people using other apps?
That's there as well. All right, it's in Trainer Eyes, but if you want to use another app, which I don't think you do, I think we've only used the Trainer Eyes app, but that feature is there as well.
So people are using other apps that sync?
Yes,
Like what?
My Fitness Pal.
Okay.
I don't love My Fitness Pal.
Okay. All right. I'll just
That
write it down, but it's probably not a good bridge gateway behavior breaker.
yeah, it's something. It's a new system to learn. It's
Okay.
just that's probably not the way. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Good call. Good call. Right. Just say no to things that are just going to be distractions more than they'll be helpful. Okay.
Okay.
The second piece is it is super important. I feel like we've talked about this before. It is very important for us to focus on eating whole, single ingredient foods. Single ingredient foods, right? We think about for a season of time, I need to not allow or limit the amount of times I allow myself to eat something that I can't easily log. An apple, easily logged. Sweet potato souffle, very much so, not easily logged. Right? Cup of green beans, right? Or 40 grams of green beans, very easily logged. Whatever mixed beverage I got from Dunkin' Donuts, not easily logged no matter what they said on the label. Right? So you think single ingredient foods, apple, quinoa, oat, potato, banana, salmon, all that stuff you throw on your plate, you throw on the food scale, you can have that logged in 3 minutes or less. But trying to do the mental acrobatics of like, how many beans did I put in the whole thing? I divided it by 8 across 4 days. And now that's too much math. Single ingredients. The food item has one thing as best you possibly can. And if you're having something with a label, scan the label. It's already in the system.
Okay, I got it.
That's a very straightforward way to make logging easy. Heads up, I hear a helicopter coming. I live under this flight path under my Wi-Fi tower. Anytime they fly over, they knock me out. So if I get knocked out, that's what happened.
Okay.
Apologies for that.
Okay.
Wednesday is a busy day at the Air Force Base. Okay. Nonetheless, thoughts about that. Just some very straightforward ways to make food logging easy. That and hold on, let me give you this one more piece. You tend to do this, but eating similar things throughout the week, just like have the same things in rotation. Get bored with your food for a season. This is not designed to be sustainable. This is for our specific objective over the next 8 to 12 weeks.
Okay. The only thing that's coming up for me is just some travel. That's coming up. So I think I will do my best. And I'll try to, like when I've been eating at restaurants or whatever, I'll just be like, give me chicken breasts and some vegetables and rice or something versus something more complicated like enchiladas. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
so
Bingo.
try and think of, I don't have any problem with that.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's just I'll be out of my environment various times, but that'll be my strategy to just keep it simple as much as possible.
All we can do. All we can do.
Yeah.
And for when you're on the road, I think I've sent you this. And if you haven't seen this, you have it now. Anything from anywhere, food ordering list. Starts to help us understand, like, if I am on the road, where are some places that are great to stop, good to stop, okay to stop, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna actually do myself any good stopping here.
Okay. Where is
And
that?
what to order. I just sent it to you.
Okay.
And what to order when you get there.
Okay.
He says pretty. Let's just sell it.
Mm-hmm.
But I made it for y'all. I actually made this for myself, to be honest. I made this for me. I'm just sharing. Okay.
Thank you.
How are you feeling?
I feel good. I feel like this was very helpful. I probably was feeling lost. Optimistic, but lost when we started. And now I feel like I can stop the noise of you didn't do this right today, you didn't do this, you got to do this today. I can like really just focus on these things. Some of those other things are going to happen by default.
Yes.
I need to make sure that like that speaking in that language really helps me to I feel good about it, like kind of a reset around this is what I can do. I can't necessarily control the stress factors or all the different things that are happening, but I can focus on this and make this a priority, even whilst deadlines, blah, 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 blah. I
Mm-hmm.
can't do this. Even whilst traveling, I still can do this. So it gives me a little bit of control or just focus. So I feel good.
Yes. Good.
Good.
Let me add something to this as well. Right now, you're speaking in it's possible. Right? It's possible.
Mm-hmm.
This is optimism, and it's passive optimism. This is possible. Passive pessimism is it's possible. I get in a car and like, could I get in a car accident today? It's possible. Right? Active pessimism. It's like this negative thing is absolutely negatively going to happen to me. Like I'm avoiding the car by all means today because DC traffic is just on 1,000. It's hot outside. Everybody's driving. I'm just not going anywhere because I know I'm going to get in a car accident today. Active pessimism. Passive pessimism.
Mm-hmm.
Active optimism is possible, right? Or passive optimism is possible.
Mm-hmm.
Active optimism says, how am I going to make it happen for me? How do I make this a reality for myself? Not only is it possible, one, I'm in a cohort of people in this virtual fitness community who are doing it. It's possible. I'm surrounded by people who are doing it. I'm working with somebody who did it. It's possible. It's possible. But how do I make it not only possible for myself, but how do I make it true for myself? What do I need to do to make this happen for me? Active involvement in your optimism. What do I need to do to make this my story? Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what this next phase is about.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
And you should feel very proud of yourself.
Thank you.
You should feel very proud. You're juggling a ton of things, including a really huge milestone for your oldest baby, right? That is stressful. That's stressful. Managing your household, managing your business, that's stressful. Managing your body as she changes is stressful. You should feel really, really proud of yourself for this still being a priority to you in the midst of all of these other facets that are demanding your attention right now. People don't do this. People don't get here. People don't remain optimistic about this, right? We start teetering the line and life happens, and then we start leaning into pessimism. But you have remained optimistic, at least as far as I know.
I mean, I thought, should I just pause? But then I'm like, then what's gonna if I'm not doing anything, like what? Not that I wouldn't do anything, but I feel like it would just be very difficult to try to navigate it without any accountability. And I don't see it going well. So I'm glad to be in this place right now mentally and to have some action steps to take.
Yeah.
And one foot in front of the other.
1 foot in front of the other. 1 foot in front of the other.
Oh, yeah.
Proud of you. You should feel very, very, very proud of yourself. When you look at yourself in the mirror, make sure you tell yourself how proud of you are
Okay.
for everything that at least I've been present for over the past year.
Okay.
You deserve to hear that from yourself, okay?
Yes. Okay.
All right, let's make sure that we're set up for our next conversation. 2 weeks from now would be the 26th. When do you travel?
The 17th through the 19th, and then the 21st through the 25th. So,
Okay.
I think I could do the 26th or
Would you like
27th.
to do the 27th? Just give you a day to kind of get back into the groove.
Yeah.
Thursday, 27th. I have 9 your time. I think that's what we did today.
Okay, let's do
Is it?
that.
We had a good little chat today. Hopefully it was
Thank you.
helpful. Of course.
Yeah, I didn't know how this was gonna go because I was just like, what am I gonna say? Like, I don't know. I mean, like, I don't like to like make excuses. I'm just like, yes, this is what's happening, and I'm confused. But I'm less confused now. I know what to do. I don't have control over the outcome, but I feel like I just focus on what to do, and hopefully the outcome that I want is on the other side of it. Like, I know, I'm just saying, maybe I'm like, I believe in the science and of it all, but it's just like because of the season that my body has been in, it's like, hey, is this gonna help me get closer to where I want to go? Like, there's still a little questioning happen because I'm not back in that, oh, it's happening every week mode. I want to get back to that. So I don't know if what I said makes sense. I'm not trying to undo the optimism that you see because it's there, but then it's just like, okay, I just got to do it, and then hopefully I'll see the anticipated. No.
What do I need to do
What
to
do I?
make this true?
Okay.
What do I need to do to make this happen? I know that it's possible. I've seen other people doing it, but what do I need to do to make it my reality? Whenever you hear that thing, that passive optimism is like, I think I'm hoping that this is the act. What do I need to do to make this true? Right. And you're about to have to practice this with your baby as she goes off to school.
Yeah.
She'll have professors and friends and roommates, and we're praying for it all. But what you teach her is what she can do in the face of whatever she's about to face. Right.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
27th. I'll see you then. In the meantime,
You said 9 or 9:30? 9?
that's 9 your time.
Okay.
In the meantime, just keep me updated. Let me know how you're
will.
feeling and how this is going for you. If you need any additional resources or support, you can do that too.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. You have a good remainder to your week, and I'll see you then.
You too. All right. Thank you. Bye.
You're welcome.